What's going on, guys? Good morning. Another day, another sketch. So today I'm going to be referencing an image from some Rich Mingan's Flash. And we're going to be doing a butterfly lady head. But today, instead of doing my usual 3 colored pencil tier system way of drawing, I'm going to attempt to do all of this with this pen and one line, one shot kind of deal. So that's going to take a lot of concentration, so here we go. All right, so I know that since the wings kind of come up, that means the head's gonna start about right here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and make this mark. That's right between where the hair kind of splits. So the thing is, you have to really pay attention to the proportions and stuff, which for me has always been really difficult. And that's why I'm doing this, because I need practice in concentration. It's very possible I just made that too big. Okay, so I assume that is going to be the top of the hair now. And we've got these little butterfly antenna things that pop out. Got a little bit of a cold or something this morning. Please excuse Wayne. You know how he gets. He likes to just sit there and lick his paws and legs and shit all day. Okay, so I'm thinking that maybe it's best if we start with the full face first. And this is always a interesting exercise, because at the end it usually ends up coming out looking really funky and bad. And that's why I'm doing this, because I hope that one day I can draw like this and it won't come out looking horrendous. Thing is, so much of drawing is hand-eye coordination, you know? Be able to realize how long a line needs to be or where it needs to go. And in my opinion, a true master can do that in very little decisions, in a very little number of brush strokes or markings. It takes very few decisions for them, which is something that I want to work on, because as of right now, as you've seen with my other sketches and whatnot, I tend to have to go over my lines multiple times. Nothing wrong with that. It's how many people draw. But imagine how cool it would be to whip out a pen and effortlessly draw an image. Oof. See, this is why I do this. Look at that. It's already looking horrible. It's okay. It's all good. Dogs are running around this morning, being crazy. Man, I wish I could fix that face so bad. And this hair too is kind of like, what the heck is going on? I wish I knew. I don't really know. Oh, see, the hair is actually not supposed to come that far down. The chin is supposed to be below it. But looks like this is gonna be a real ugly lady. It's okay. So the nose, about right here. And she's got huge lips in this one. And you know, sometimes it's not so bad if they look bad, if that makes sense. It gives them a little bit of a folk art kind of feel, which I don't mind all the time. Sometimes it's nice when it's raw, which, I mean, that's kind of the thing about this. It's not like I'm intentionally making it look bad, look like folk art, whatever. It just kind of is what it is, because I still suck at drawing. I mean, look at how far the setting is on these eyes. That's horrible. If you saw a woman in real life with eyes like that, you'd be like, ooh, what kind of disease is that? It's actually not so bad once you put the pupils in and everything. But yeah, that's pretty bad. Okay, oof, man, this looks so bad compared to the original. And I can't help but wonder, like, when the original artist made this, Rich Mingins, when he made this, how many times did he have to draw this? You know? It's something that I wonder. Now, here's how I know I'm messing up. You've got these earring things right? That I'm drawing now. And in the original, there's about 10 of these pearls. I've got 3. So that definitely tells me that my proportions are way off. Way off. It's okay. We just have to keep on moving. So, let's see here. Now we've got to do the wings, which is going to be quite a challenge. There and that there, presumably give it some of these round shapes. You know, I've noticed that being a tattoo artist is still very much a fringe career path. You tell people that you're a tattoo artist and they still are kind of like, oh, you know, their first reaction is usually, oh. Especially some of these older people, which is so interesting to me because I guess I'm just so used to being in this world of tattooing at this point, and it's kind of like not weird at all to me. It's not a fringe society thing. It's my home in many ways. You know, for people like me, I don't really know why, but being like everyone else, doing what everyone else does, never been that good at it. I definitely have tried. You know, no one wants to be on the outs. But I just can't do it. I don't know why. And I've learned to accept that and almost embrace that. In a lot of ways, I feel so much like a stray cat in this world. You know, everyone's got their groups and their beliefs and their stuff. that makes them feel like them. And I've got that too. But as far as that sort of like group mentality, as far as, I don't know what I'm saying, but I very much identify with being sort of like a stray cat, and I'm just observing as I go, sort of doing my thing, not really I can't stick to one place. I can't really be a part of one group and limit myself to that. You know, I don't even feel like I really care about being American or any of those labels or any of that. Like, I'm just kind of me. And, you know, a lot of people seem to be off-put by that sometimes, because it's kind of just like, how do you interact with someone who is kind of intentionally removed from all the things that you were led to believe are important? You know, I don't really give a shit about religion. I don't give a shit about politics. I don't give a shit about trends. Because what's cool in America, what's important in America, is irrelevant in many other places. What's relevant in many other places and cool in other places is irrelevant here. And I find that really interesting. I like being just this sort of open world, just out here like a pirate, and all this world is just territory to explore. Let's do another butterfly. Let's see. This one doesn't look so bad. I hope. I have to go kind of small. Drawing is so hard. It is such a difficult thing to do. And that's why so many people just don't do it. And I think that's why so many people also choose to make art that doesn't need much technical skill, especially anymore. There seems to be a really big movement towards artwork that does not require understandings of proportions and lighting and stuff like that. It just seems to be a little bit more of a wing it, get the message out kind of deal, which I like that. I feel like that's really raw art. But imagine if you can do that and you have the technical faculties alongside that. You can spit something out and it is anatomically correct. The colors look correct. Shading looks correct. Everything looks correct. But it's still raw. It still came in a burst. A sudden burst of artwork. Like right now, this looks raw, sure, but it looks horrible. It's terrible. That's fine. That's what the sketchbook is for. But, you know, like I said earlier, the point of this exercise is to be able to just do a line, commit to it. Because look, this is how a lot of people go about their drawing, like this. And I was guilty of this for a while too. See how scratchy that is? People do this. Bless me. Bless you. Thank you. You're welcome. If you've ever seen that video of that football player. Okay. Or here's another thing that I tend to do, at least. Three times. Remember? The pencils? 3 times. And then look at all those lines. Some of you might say you like that look. But to me, that is a look of indecisiveness. that's a look of lack of confidence. And that's not what I'm going for. I'm looking to be able to make confident and accurate lines. And, you know, part of that always comes from just knowing what you're drawing, being familiar with the subject that you're drawing. But I'm not. And, you know, if I were to be drawing a portrait of somebody or whatever, I don't know, whatever the situation may entail, I want everything to be confident. I want it to look like this is what I intended. Please apologize. Please forgive me for all the sniffling and whatnot today. Whew. Man, sorry. That's cool. And I guess we'll do that on this side too. Okay. So, that's our little drawing for today. Now, I feel like... I feel like I want to color it in. What's unfinished to me. So, let's get back to the book here. be too big. I'm gonna go grab a marker. Okay. So I'm using a Posca, and let's start filling shit in. So do that, and I'll make these black. And let's see what all is black here. These are black. Shading. All the way to right there. And once we get there, all this is black. Now, I recommend that whenever you're drawing tattoo images or flash or whatever, and I'm guilty of not doing this, but this is just something that popped into my head as a recommendation to do. Always think of it like you're working on skin. Always think of it like your pen is a tattoo machine. And that will just sort of help train your mind, keep your mind sharp, which I think is why it's important to draw on paper, because the iPad just doesn't mimic real life that well. Okay. And I always think that these sketches start to really look better. Everything, tattoos also tend to look better to me once they've filled in. One second. I guess I gotta go blow my nose. Shit. My sincerest apologies. Now, at some point though, I want to go back to making more refined sketchbook drawings. Sorry for that sound. Wayne is drinking water. One thing about Wayne is he's going to stay hydrated. He's going to drink his water. Hardly any black in this one. Okay, so now the dogs are fighting on the couch, so just please be patient if you hear them going at it. So I'm gonna add a little bit of color, and then that'll be it. Just add a little fading. Give it that sort of traditional look, you know? You know what I'm saying? Kind of coming along here. Thing is too is I have been really uptight when it comes to my artwork for a long time, in the sense that everything's got to be perfect, the line's got to be perfect, all that. So that's kind of one of the reasons I do this, is to loosen up. This is less about being able to show people how good of an artist I am, and more about just making art, just drawing, just feeling the paper. Art is a visceral exercise. It's not so much about the product as it is about the process. And like I said, that's why I am practicing with the one shot lines and everything. Because I'm focused more on the process. The product will eventually work itself out. It's kind of like it's kind of like magic. I just know that if I just keep practicing and sharpening my hand-eye coordination, eventually I may be able to do this piece like this perfectly and effortlessly, because my hand and my eye will have been trained for such a long while. Repetition. But that's the thing, is there still has to be mindfulness involved. You can't keep making crude drawings expecting them to turn into something refined. You have to work towards the refinement each time. So while this may look crude, the next time I do something hopefully it will come out maybe still crude, but a bit more refined. So that's the goal. I don't like that brown. Try this goldenrod. Yeah, that's fine. Now we just do some green. That's it. I left my pencil sharpener at the shop, so kind of limited here. Mistakes were made, of course. What's new? You know, come in with this green. This isn't supposed to be red, but now it is. Not sure if you can tell, but at this point I'm kind of over it. So I'm just doing a pretty quick fill in this green. Got a little bit of orange I gotta fill in the bodies here. Okay, that's it. That is today's drawing. See y'all next time.